my confident and generous Leo friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Leo, this week, it's as if the air around you is thick with the sense that something fundamental is shifting, but it hasn't quite revealed its shape. There's a restlessness you can't explain to anyone, not fully. It's not frustration, not really. It's more like the feeling of seeing your own reflection in a window at night, knowing there's so much more behind the glass. You sense you're standing at the edge of a cycle that's run its course, but the next step is still hidden in the dark. People might see your usual confidence, but within you're quietly searching for what comes after achievement, after applause fades and the room grows still. You feel pride in all that's come before, yet a subtle ache for something that goes deeper than recognition or outward completion. There's an unnamed longing, a tension between what you've built and what you quietly yearn to become. It's a week when you're both full and strangely empty, glowing in the afterlight of past successes, but craving meaning that no one else can hand to you. The World card moves through you like a memory of everything you've overcome. You carry the sense of completion that comes from real accomplishment, but you're also holding the quiet after the celebration when the audience has left and the lights have dimmed. It's a feeling of fullness, but also of quiet solitude. You know what it's like to finish something hard-fought. You can almost taste the relief, the exhale, the gentle pride. And yet it's not quite enough, is it? There's a sense of being suspended between cycles, as if the story you've been living is asking to be honored and released in the same breath. You might find yourself reflecting on your journey, remembering moments of triumph, but also noticing the corners of your heart where unfinished business quietly lingers. Maybe you're aware of the subtle pressure to define what comes next, to set a new intention, to keep moving. But right now, the inner state is one of pause, of deep, echoing reflection. You sense that the old patterns, the familiar victories have run their course. The world you've mastered feels just a little too small. There's gratitude and there's fatigue. You're holding the weight of completion. But underneath, there's a persistent, soft urge to let go of what no longer fits and to step into a new kind of wholeness, one that's not just about achievement but about meaning. There's a quiet humility in this space, a willingness to see yourself honestly, to honor the journey but not cling to its trophies. You might notice moments this week when you look around and realize you're ready for something more honest, more alive. The fullness of the world brings you to rest, but it also wakes you up to what's missing. From this inner state, a new path emerges, not out of force but out of necessity. When the heart grows restless in the aftermath of completion, the world outside begins to reflect that tension. It's as if circumstances start to crowd in, revealing where you feel hemmed in by old definitions or expectations. The pause you feel inside gives rise to a subtle friction in your daily life, a sense that the walls are closer than they used to be, that choices you once made without hesitation now feel heavier. The urge for something new doesn't create obstacles, but it makes you aware of the ones that have always been there. Your longing for deeper meaning stirs up the parts of your life where you feel restricted. You find yourself noticing the boundaries more acutely, questioning whether the familiar patterns are still yours to claim. It's not dramatic or loud. It's a quiet but persistent invitation to look at what holds you back. The momentum of your inner world begins to shape the events around you, gently asking you to notice the places where you've outgrown your circumstances. The 8 of Swords appears, and with it, the unmistakable pressure of invisible constraints. Life this week may feel like a series of subtle blockades, Nothing insurmountable, but present enough to remind you that you're not as free as you'd like to be. There's a distinct sense of friction, as if your usual boldness is met with hesitation, second-guessing, or unexpected delays. You might notice how certain habits, old stories, or the expectations of others start to feel like narrow hallways. The pressures aren't always external. Sometimes they are the silent voices inside, reminding you of old doubts or the rules you once agreed to just to keep the peace. This isn't the kind of pressure that demands a fight. Instead, it's the kind that quietly limits movement, urging you to notice what feels restrictive. The momentum of the week is shaped by these small hesitations, the moments when you pause before speaking your truth or hesitate before reaching for what you want. The events that unfold seem designed to highlight where your sense of agency feels dimmed. Maybe it's a conversation you avoid, or a decision that feels more complicated than it should. The friction is real, but it's also revealing. It shows you exactly where you're still bound by the past, where your vision for yourself collides with old definitions. Choices this week are shaped by these pressures. The easy path feels narrow, the new path feels uncertain. Yet in the midst of these constraints, a quiet clarity begins to form, a recognition that the only way forward is through honest acknowledgement of where you feel stuck. The Eight of Swords doesn't offer a way out, but it does shine a light on the edges of your self-imposed limitations. The pressure itself becomes a signal that you're ready for something different, even if you're not sure what that is yet. It's a week of noticing, of sitting in the discomfort and letting it guide you toward a deeper truth. The potential of this week is not automatic. It waits for you to meet the moment with awareness. The friction and the longing are not obstacles to be vanquished, but invitations to pay attention. If you're willing to turn toward the discomfort instead of away from it, the possibility of growth becomes real. The path ahead is shaped by how honestly you're willing to see your situation. If you meet the tension with curiosity, if you allow yourself to linger in the questions instead of rushing for answers, something changes. The old boundaries don't disappear, but they become less fixed. Doors that felt locked begin to loosen. You realize that the sense of being hemmed in isn't the whole story. The potential is always there, but it only emerges when you choose to engage with your circumstances, not as a problem to solve, but as an honest reflection of where you are and what you need now. The week opens up when you meet yourself with compassion and a willingness to see things as they are, not as you wish they were. The star glimmers quietly in the distance, not as a promise of sudden transformation, but as an invitation to reconnect with hope. There's a gentleness here, a sense that you can let your guard down, just for a moment, and remember what it feels like to trust in your own becoming. Growth this week looks less like striving and more like softening. The star invites you to let possibility seep back in, not as a goal to chase, but as a quiet belief that new meaning is possible. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic change. It's about noticing the smallest sense of relief that comes when you allow yourself to dream again, even after feeling stuck. The potential that unfolds is subtle, a return to your own sense of direction, a reminder that hope isn't naive but necessary. You might find yourself imagining what life could feel like if you let go of one small fear, or if you spoke one honest truth. The star does not guarantee that everything will change overnight, but it does offer the comfort of knowing that you're allowed to begin again. Growth arrives gently, as a quiet confidence that replaces the tension with possibility. This week, your potential lies in giving yourself permission to believe in your own renewal, even before anything around you changes. The invitation is to trust that hope is not only for the unburdened, but for those who have carried weight and are ready to set it down. Looking back at the week as a whole, you can see how each stage is deeply connected. The world brings you to a place of honest reflection, asking you to acknowledge your journey and the quiet longing that follows completion. The Eight of Swords reveals where that longing bumps up against old limitations, both internal and external, urging you to see the shape of your own boundaries. And the star, soft, persistent, reminds you that even in the midst of discomfort, hope is possible. There is no need to rush. You are not being asked to leap or to force change. Instead, you're invited to honor the fullness of your experience, the pride, the fatigue, the restlessness. The week offers a calm, steady reassurance. Your longing for more is not a sign that you've failed, but an invitation to keep growing. Each card, each stage is a gentle unfolding. You are allowed to pause, to notice the pressure, to soften into hope. By the end of the week, the emotional weight doesn't vanish, but it shifts. What felt like tension becomes a quiet readiness. You find yourself breathing easier, knowing that the path forward doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. In this gentle space, you can trust that each moment of honest engagement brings you a little closer to the meaning you seek. The world you've known is still with you, but now there is room for something new to grow. You are exactly where you need to be for now. Actionable insights for Leo this week. Let yourself sit with the feeling of completion before rushing to fill the next space. Notice one place where you feel constrained and gently ask what part of that boundary belongs to you now. Allow yourself a quiet moment each day to imagine what hope feels like when you are not striving. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I honor where I have been and what I have built. Even when I feel limited, I am still whole. My hope is allowed to arrive gently. I trust the quiet growth unfolding within me. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.